Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hidden Magicks. We're so glad to have you here. We're gonna hop right into tonight's story, but first, let's get an introduction from our characters. And we're gonna start on my right with Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia, and I'll be playing Jade Beno, just regular old fighter looking to get paid and looking to not get eaten by some eldritch horror.
And then we'll keep going clockwise with AJ.
Hi, I'm going to be playing Keon, the only actual normal person here. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna keep on doing and get paid.
Next up is Darby.
Hello, I'm Darby, and I'm playing Connie Kani Dipudalis, the only normal person here.
And last up is D.
Hi, my name is Dee, and tonight I will be playing Maltion, your average College of Lore Bard.
Does everybody have to buy my style? Everybody? All of you?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Just perfectly normal.
And that brings us back to the top, and I am Harper, and I will be your dungeon master for this evening. Last time on Hidden Magicks, our party was, well, not so much a party as a group of mercenaries that don't know each other that well yet, was making their way through the hills in search of these bandits that they had been contracted to hunt by the mercenary guild that Jade works for, the Crow's Cradle. They, after a little over a day of searching, they followed the tracks through a ravine where they were promptly stopped and shot at by two sentries, it appears, failing to be stealthy and mask their approach, and one of the sentries blew a horn and called for help. Our party was doing a fairly decent job about fending them off, trying to keep them alive with moderate success, until Maltion, growing a bit impatient, opened up a rift in reality and summoned an eldritch aberration, in the form of a slod, to terrify everyone, including a couple members of their party, into submission. And that is where we are now.
I had this dude tied up, right? Correct? Or I was in the...
Correct. You have managed to tie up the sentry.
You should be real happy you're not down there right now.
What do you mean?
I'll just pick him up and...
What the fuck is that thing?
I don't know. Mighty ugly is what it is. Mind telling me, So unless you want to go down and meet that friend down there, mind telling me your name and, you know, the number of people in your party and what you're doing out here? Attacking fine traveling folk like ourselves?
I would say make me either a persuasion or an intimidation check. Depends on how good cop, bad cop you're trying to play this.
Would intimidation be made with advantage? Because
that is correct.
There. Oh, but my persuasion is so much higher.
Yeah, you can good cop this or you can bad cop this. If you want to intimidate, it's at advantage. Up to you.
I'm trying to be the good cop here.
Alright, so you're rolling persuasion here.
Yeah. I'm gonna be nice. You can tell me what I need to know. Okay. I can do math. 15 plus 4 is 19.
Okay, a 19. I'll say, I don't know. I mean, are you talking about fighters, or are you talking about all of us? Because, I mean, in terms of fighters, you've pretty much got all of us. There's only a little over a dozen. But I mean, there are more people. But like, we're here to keep people away from them. We're not trying to, I don't know, have you fight that. Please don't hurt them.
So you just shoot at random passerbys?
Hey, I gave you all a chance to turn around. We didn't want to kill you. We just wanted you to.
This is a traveling road. What are you doing setting up stop in the middle of the road?
I will note that you are not on an established road. You have
Never
followed
mind.
them deep into a ravine.
We're minding our own business. You could have just let us pass. Unless you have a reason to be keeping people away.
Well, we're defenders. We're guards. We're not meant to let people in unless they know us already, and we know them.
Insight check.
Sure, go ahead.
Okili dokili. $17.
He's telling you the truth.
Okay.
He is scared witless right now.
And who exactly are you supposed to be guarding?
The families. The families of the other people. The guys you've got down there with that thing.
So the people down there, the ones who swung at us with swords, those are the people you're supposed to be protecting?
No, they're families. Like, am I not? I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as clear as possible here. There are parents and children back there, and he'll kind of point around the curve where they ran from as best as he can with his like shoulder, like over there.
So there's about a dozen of you that are armed and ready. Those would be the people down there.
Yeah, this is all of us.
Right. We're not here for you. We just wanted to mind our own business. Unless, of course, you've been stealing from farms recently.
He doesn't respond.
Okay. Have you been stealing from farms recently?
No.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
That sounds like a fucking liar right there.
No!
No. That
Leave
was
immediately.
That'll be an 18.
He is telling you the truth. He has not stolen from any farms.
Have other people in your party been stealing from farms?
No.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Actually, hold on. Do I have that prepared?
Is that the truth?
Yeah. I don't have it prepared. Tragic. Let's try this dice. It stabbed me in the back recently. That would be 8 plus 3 is 21. 13. I rolled a 13 in doing the math. 8 plus
Gotcha.
3.
Yeah, he is lying through his teeth there and being very bad about it. The other people in his party have absolutely been stealing from farms.
Okay, I'd like to take my hands out of my pockets and pull out my hammer.
Sure thing. And
just
you,
Drop
as
the
you,
heavy part on the ground.
yeah, as you pull out of this very beautiful dress with these deep, your hands are in these deep pockets, you pull out a war hammer that absolutely is too large to have been in one of those pockets, especially without anyone noticing it. And you can drop it on the ground. Go ahead.
Yeah, heavy part on the ground, like not on him, but like close to where he is.
Ah! Be
Now-
careful where you're dropping things.
Now, I'm mighty careful, but the members of my party might not be. So I suggest you tell me the truth. Have y'all been stealing from the farms? Not you specifically, but your whole little entourage. Have you been stealing from farms recently?
Roll me an intimidation check at advantage.
Sicko mode! Woo! 19 plus 8.
Okay.
No, intimidation. Sorry. That's just a dirty 20.
Okay. That's with advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've been going out in shifts and we've been taking what we need. That's all.
Why do you need to steal food?
I mean, you should talk to Jalen, but we need it to feed ourselves. We're not fighters, we're farmers. I swear.
Why are you stealing food then?
You think that we'd steal if we had a choice?
Which one's Jalen?
You'll find her in camp. She's the one running the operation.
The operation?
The group of us, she's the one keeping us organized. We're not used to
Okay.
working in a group this big.
Can I just grab and just fly out of the game?
I will say that you have run out of your flying time.
I can do it again.
Okay, then yes, you can.
I'm just gonna just fly and float down with him.
Yeah, I'd say you can't really fly with him, but you can do a controlled descent.
Yeah, I controlled the. I put the warhammer back in my pocket
All
before
right.
I go down. Just sort of got this one over here. Looks like we found our little farmer wannabes. Just drop him, not high up. Just
Yeah.
like 5 feet from the ground. I just let go.
Yeah, just and he gets he tries to land on his feet, but he completely misses because he doesn't have use of his arms, and he face plants into the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Seems that there are more non-combat individuals further ahead that these individuals were sent to guard, and that their leader's name is Jalen. You said,
Yeah, Jalen,
and what's your name?
Callum.
Well, Callum, I'll be sure to tell Jalen that you sent us.
And he just shuts up. The rest of you, what are you doing while Connie's tying up this one guy?
I'm pretty sure I'm still scared of Charlie.
I'd say if you take a couple of minutes, you can go ahead and roll me another. What kind of a saving throw was it again, Maltion?
It is not part of the spell.
Okay.
Right, with something that you had added on. I believe it was wisdom.
Yeah.
the
So
first
go
time.
ahead and make just a wisdom check.
Guess I'm over it. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah. So taking a couple of minutes to collect yourself, I mean, the thing is still horrifying to look at, but you're over the surprise of it emerging right in front of you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've got them all tied up. So what next? We just got to take these lot, or we're going into talk to their leader?
I mean, it sounds like there's a conversation to be had with this Jalen person, if they're the one organizing all of this.
Yeah, I prefer not to pull double shifts if I don't have to, so I'd like to get this all in one go if rest of y'all don't mind.
Not at all. While we bring all these folks back to call them in the group, you know, let them see their families. I'm just gonna.
Well, we could do that. But unless you have a way to transport 12 or so people without any of them making a run for it, which, let's be honest, they probably will.
Rope. Connie's just gonna hold up some rope and.
You don't.
Kinda that probably ain't gonna cut it if I'm honest. For 12?
12 people? That's...
Sure.
Bind their
12,
hands
that's a
and
lot.
then just tie them all together in a string.
People can still run away like that, and 12 outweighs 4, so they'd be able to pull the rope from our hands, I'm thinking.
What about tying
Correct.
them to your lovely individual friend here that
So-
you've brought around?
Well, the thing about that is Charlie, I don't really think should be around children or elderly people. Might be a bit much for them.
You think Charlie could watch this group while we're away?
Charlie?
Charlie, who has taken the two tentacles that have kind of grown out of the sides of its body and wrapped them around the group of 8 on the ground, kind of looks at you and opens a very wide kind of Cheshire mouth over, like, just over the heads of the people that it's got bound up. A couple of whom, by the way, are beginning to stir because most of them are unconscious. A couple of people who look maybe less unconscious and more dead. But wraps tentacles around, kind of joins back and meets the tentacles behind its back, looks at you and goes, which you've had limited conversation with Charlie, but Charlie looks to be in agreement.
Looks like it'll be good.
I will say that there were
I
3 others that were up on the
I will
cliffs
go-
that are not taken account for. They have been hands up and they're making their way down to you.
Oh, yeah. We'll wait for
Those
the rest
those
of
3 can those 3 we can usher with rope back. To
Oh,
the
yeah.
village.
Yes.
the-
Um,
sounds bad.
I can keep Charlie here for about an hour, so as long as we don't take too long.
All right. Let's not tarry then. Let's get after they get down here. Time up. Get moving.
Indeed.
All right. So after about 3 minutes, they're working their way basically sideways down a goat track, but they make their way down to where you are. They got hands up.
All right. Single file.
They're listening to you.
Just wrapping up the hands, doing the whole, tied together thing.
Okay. And you're pretty experienced with taking bounties, so you manage to tie them up in a string. It takes you about, 3-4 minutes.
There's one
Rope
person
works all right.
who was hold personed, right? They were.
Yes, that is correct. They were hold personed, and then, if you recall, they fell off of a cliff bleeding from their ears and nose.
Not that one. There's another one in front
Mm.
of Charlie that I did it again, I believe, and he's like frozen. He's like, "What's
Oh,
behind me?"
that's one of the. So you've also got the 2 men who looked like they were much more experienced in battle.
Yes. I would like to tie him, drop the spell, and tie him up.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if we said this last time, but definitely stripping them all of weapons.
Indeed.
Okay.
Any sharp objects.
Oh, I'm taking one of their swords.
Okay. It's a standard greatsword.
Yeah.
Any more weapons, daggers? Go ahead and cough them up now.
Okay, you'll see that the 3 who come down from the cliff before Jade ties up their hands reach in and take out daggers and drop them on the ground. One of the men with a greatsword will unleash the crossbow that he's had slung across his back and drop it on the ground. The
Crossbow,
one,
you say? I would like that.
yes, it is a light crossbow. And the other one drops his greatsword on the ground. Kind of spits off to the side.
Pleasant.
Yeah. So now you see just Keon just like great sword here, glaive, warhammer, light crossbow.
Get it out. Yep. Okay.
Just grab.
All right.
You're a armory, aren't you?
Just like to be a little versatile.
Not complain. All right, let's get moving. Time is money.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right. And how are y'all making your way?
On foot.
Okay.
Connie in the front.
I guess Connie could be flying if she wants.
I'll go in the front.
Okay. And are you making your own way, or are you having them guide you?
I would probably say have Callum be in front with Connie.
Yeah, I'll have Callum with
And
me.
probably incite his directions if need be.
Yeah. All right, Callum, why don't you lead the way back to your leader?
Fine.
Any other? But before we go, any other tricks we have to be aware of? Does any spellcasters amongst your little entourage?
You think if any of us could cast spells, we'd be here? No. None of us.
Insight check, please.
Go ahead.
I believe nothing.
22.
You can sense that he's telling the truth. Generally speaking, in this, in the Empire, being able to do magic is because it is a trained thing. Like you have to go to school, or you have to be a member of a church to do it. People who are spellcasters can generally find fairly decent living for themselves using that. So, if what he's said is true, which you believe it to be, that he is, you know, these people here are all farmers turned bandits, none of them would have had cause to get a magical education.
Cool. And we're all good. Let's go.
And he'll start making his way up the ravine past the group of fighters that Charlie has his appendages wrapped around, and is kind of occasionally a bit of drool dripping on their heads as they wake up, and they are horrified. A couple of them are struggling against his arms, and he just groups them tighter and tighter, but the majority of them are mute in fear and just watching as you all walk past. You walk past Charlie, and Callum leads you on a turn to the left where you saw the group of them come running out earlier. He'll lead you through a series of twists and turns that take about a couple minutes to go through at a walking pace. And he'll call out, Jalen! Jalen! There are people here to see you. Don't do anything stupid, please. I think that they're just gonna talk, but they might do worse. So, yeah. And after he shouts, like maybe 15 seconds after he shouts that, he leads you around a final curve into, what's almost a, carved out, you're still deep in a ravine, and the water that normally runs through over the ages has carved out almost, a cave with a crack that runs all the way down the top. It broadens out into a huge clear area. There's rocks jumbled, and you can see that there are several pitched tents, some lean-tos that have been constructed against walls. You see a makeshift pen that's been made with wood that came from around the area, with some livestock in it. And you see 3 covered wagons in the around the back edge of this area. And you do not immediately see anyone.
Can I make a perception check?
Certainly all of you can make perception checks if you wish.
Do I make it with advantage?
Yes, Connie, you would make it with advantage.
Okay.
That's a 9.
Why do I still roll these digital dice? Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
I
know. I
really
even have a D20 in front of me. I'm just like, let's give the digital dice another thing. That's a total of 4.
13.
21.
Okay, so we've got a 4 from Jade, a 9 from Keon, a 13 from Connie, and a 21 from Altion?
Yep.
Okay, so Jade and Keon, the two of you have been very focused on the hostages that you've taken.
Sure.
Trying to make sure that they're keeping quiet and in order, so you're focusing more of your attention that way. Beyond what's immediately visible, you're not really noticing what's going on in the area in front of you. Connie, you cast out with your senses, and you can tell that there are definitely a number of people here. You don't immediately see anyone, but you know that they're here somewhere. Maltion, you take into account the cook fires that are burning that you see near some of the tents, and the shuffling sounds of the horses that have been kept in another pen back by the carts. And you listen carefully, and you can hear the hushed tones of what sounds like an adult speaking very softly in a tent further off. You can hear what sounds almost like a very quickly muffled cry from another one of the tents. And you can tell that there are definitely people here, and they are not showing their faces. They have very quickly hidden themselves.
I'll look at Callum and say, do you all hide as soon as the fighters are sent out, or is this response to us arriving here specifically?
I mean, when I blew the horn, that's when Jalen sent out the other fighters. I'm assuming that probably they were told to hide then. I don't know. We haven't really had to deal with other people finding us.
Can I call out, perhaps?
Sure, go ahead.
As a priestess of Saloon, I would guarantee that should you not raise arms against us, we will not raise arms against you. So, if you please come out to parley a little.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
22.
Okay. And you'll see from underneath one of the wagons will roll out and kind of pick up and dust herself off a human woman who looks to be about in her mid-40s with what looks to be very pale blonde hair. But as she draws closer, you can see that it's actually a very sun-bleached gray and white hair, and it's drawn back into a no-nonsense bun at the back of her head. And she's wearing regular pants and cotton shirt that has various it looks like it's been owned many times. And she'll make a point of taking her light crossbow and holstering it on her belt and making her way across towards you. And saying, she'll approach and say, "Look, I don't know who you are, but we don't want any trouble."
Well, I disagree with that. From what we've been made privy to, it seems like you all have a bit of a problem with sticky fingers.
Don't know what you're referring to. We're just a simple group of folk trying to make our way as we travel.
A simple group of folk who've been stealing from farms. Look, Caleb over here, she's just gonna pat his shoulder, has told me so much about your little group's proclivities.
Damn it, Caleb.
I wouldn't be too harsh on him. We did do a very convincing show of telling him.
Yes, he was definitely backed into a corner.
So what, these are the survivors?
No.
No, more alive back there, just with a friend watching over them. Pretty much everyone, I think.
There were two unfortunate incidents.
My apologies.
Well, I guess if Caleb already talked to you, then you know that... Listen, we're just trying to make our way in the world and feed our families as best as we can.
Why?
Alright? Why? Because the drought has lasted 3 years now, and we can barely feed ourselves. We had to...
So-
all of us here either had to sell or lost our farms. Had to make a living somehow. Go ahead.
So your answer to that was to steal the food out of other people's mouths.
Look, better than them than us, okay?
16.
She is telling the truth from what you can glean. She's a very upfront woman. She wears her feelings on her face. And so it's very easy to get a read on her. She's telling you the truth from now.
Stealing from friends, though. Not very fortunate.
Look, we didn't steal from anyone who we knew wouldn't be able to rebound, okay? People who have bigger farms or are more successful. People who live closer to the cities and can get water from them, okay? We didn't steal thoughtlessly, but there's a lot of mouths here to feed, okay? We did what we could.
You did what you felt you had to. I can understand that. Considering that's your approach, you can understand we got to do what we feel we have to. So why don't you make this easy?
And what do you feel you have to do?
Turn you in, of course. Crime's crime.
I think we can. Can I pull up? We have a copy of the contract, correct?
None of you asked for a copy, so you do not actually have one now.
Would Jade usually have gotten a copy of her contract when she goes on it? If you say no, that's fine.
Would Jade have gotten a copy? It's up to you.
I'd say yes, considering how often she does this.
Okay. I'd say that, yeah, you probably have a copy of the, like, it's not the exact contract you signed, but it's a stock.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a stock version of your usual bounty.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you have a copy of the contract?
Oh, not near enough. Hands it over to Connie.
Flipping through the contract, what does it specifically ask for?
You were contracted to bring in the group of bandits. So, you were to go and... I mean, this is basically a stock contract that was very slightly altered, so this is not the exact text of the contract that you signed. But you were essentially tasked with the tracking, either killing or capture and return of a group of bandits. They do not have the precise number written down because it was not known.
Looking around, like, sensing around, is it... These are mostly, like, families, like, civilian people, not, like, the other people, not the people we just captured.
Your senses wouldn't tell you that.
Then I will ask directly. I take it then the rest of the people here are family, children?
Yes. Everyone who knows how to fight, we send out, without a couple staying back here. The rest stay here.
The contract specifies bandits. Does it say what happens if we fail to complete the contract?
If you fail to complete the contract, you do not receive your pay.
Are Connie and Jade about to have a problem?
Connie and Jade might be about to have a problem. Or his... Then give me a moment to just speak with my compatriots. Caleb, why don't you hang out with your studious leader here? Just push him forward a little bit.
I mean, I guess you run the show here. Go ahead. And she'll kind of grab Caleb by his ear and yank him over and go, ow! Ow!
Talking to, I want to pull Jade, Keon, and Maltion a little closer together. This contract only specifies bandits.
Correct. So anybody who stole or was coordinating the effort counts as that.
I think we should though, we can leave the people here, the families, and just take the people who directly interacted with us and fought with us.
The issue with that is that the people we will be taking away are their support system. So let's say a more heavily armed group of bandits comes upon these people, they have no one to defend themselves.
With this little quad of individuals we grabbed from up and just take the rest we found back in there.
Jalen has to come. She coordinated. Anybody who was part of the effort to steal has to come. Period. Caleb said he didn't steal anything. He doesn't have to come. He is not a bandit. 8 perhaps, but he's not a bandit per se. I get why they did what they did, but there are consequences to actions.
And the consequences to those actions may not be necessarily appropriate.
Drought's nobody's fault, but they did what they did. They have no idea who they affected. They said, us before them. That's the model they go by. This is the price. This is entirely inappropriate. They got caught eventually. They had a good run, and now it's done.
Then
I agree with Jade.
Then we just take the people who had a direct hand in stealing and leave the rest. Does that sound?
That
And
the coordinator.
And I said direct hand.
I wasn't sure how you wanted to slice that one, so I figured I'd clarify.
Also the corpses.
Oh yeah, sure. They're dead. Yeah. That's I can agree with that. We were hired for bandits. If you haven't stolen anything, you are not per se a bandit.
Then let's see how they take it.
Keon, what do you think?
For Keon.
Yeah, that seems about right. We'll take the. Well, I mean, if the dead ones weren't part of the whole thing, you can be like, hey, here's your body. Pay your respects.
Is that really gonna be a kindness in this regard? Hey, we're taking everybody who can fight. Here's a dead body, though.
Well, Caleb was a fighter, but not one who stole. So let's ask.
Well, just ask the leader. Reveal who the ones that went out and stole, and those are the people we take.
And only those that we take. Better that just those people get taken rather than everyone here.
From what we can tell, they said I'm assuming the people who could fight were the ones who went and stole anyway. So I'm guessing we already have who were the main bandits conquered aside from Jalen.
Then let's clarify.
Agreed.
Okay. Jalen.
And you can see that she has not let go of Callum's ear, and she's been leaning in and she's been berating him the entire time that you've been talking. You can see tears coming out of Caleb's eyes. Like, he is crying. You can see that he's upset. You can see that she also is upset, but she's not a person who can be moved to tears very easily. What are your passive insights again?
Passive? My passive is a 15.
16.
Probably just like a 12, right?
It's 10. It's 10 plus whatever you would add to an insight check.
Oh, so 11.
Okay. So Jade, Maltion, and Connie, you can pretty easily surmise that Caleb has informed her of what transpired in that fight. She'll turn, she won't let go of his ear, and she'll say, what?
Read the contract that they stole from the farms. And only those people.
Yep. Whoever did not have a direct hand in that, you don't have to take. Simple as that. As long as you're honest about it, we're all good.
There are ways that I can enforce that honesty, but I would hope that you be honest about who direct hands. You take those people and only those people and leave everyone else well alone.
How dare you all. You come in here talking about honesty and justice, and you release demons on my group?
When did I ever say justice? I say consequences. That's not the same thing, miss.
I didn't know I was dealing with a group of mages.
To be fair, I am not a mage.
Oh, if you're wondering who did the big light show, that'd be that one.
registered priestess of the goddess Saloon.
You can see that she has deep, burning anger in her eyes. She goes, I don't see why I should cooperate with you all. You kill some of my best fighters. You summon whatever devil thing Callan's been telling me about. You leave it with my men. I don't see why I should trust you whatsoever.
Jalen, mercy of the goddess prohibits me from being overly cruel in any way, and I'm trying to extend a deep mercy to the children who are here. Well aware of what the justice system can entail, I'm not inclined to extend this offer if you continue to spill such vitriol at us.
Can I cast Detect Thoughts?
Certainly. Go ahead.
I would like to probe her mind for deeper information.
All right.
She
And
gets a wisdom save.
how are you casting this?
I guess I am out of sorcery points, so I can't be super quiet about it.
Oh boy, this is gonna go south real fast.
Oh, God.
Can I turn around to cast it so that she can't see my hands or mouth?
You can certainly try.
Quietly? Yeah, I would like to attempt that.
Okay. Make me a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fair. Like,
Look, all we got
14.
Okay. So, alright, you go ahead and cast a spell. And as you do so, that tentacle that is invisible to only you again snakes out of your mouth and snakes its way through the group, and eventually, you turn around and see, Jalen as she's been looking at you, going, what the hell are you doing? And the tentacle wraps around her head and touches her temple. And it's a what kind of save?
It is a wisdom save on her end.
Okay. With a natural 4, she does not succeed.
Okay. I will DM you the question.
Okay.
Look, we were tasked to bring the bandits of the farms alive to the best of our abilities. And to the best of our abilities, we've kept most of your companions alive. There were 1 or 2 mishaps, but mostly everyone is alive.
They did also fire on us first. And keeping pretty much all of them alive was harder than not.
And she is just, at the moment, you see that she's kind of stalled as she's in the grip of Maltion's spell, although you don't know this. Actually, what are your passive perceptions?
15?
11.
12.
Okay, so none of you would have noticed Maltion doing this.
Can I ping an insight check off of her? My passive insight's 18.
It's only for a split second. Okay. I have answered your question, D. And so you probe her mind, and she begins to think about the two who were killed. That's where her mind is right now. She's also, as you get the surface level of her thoughts, thinking about all of those who are left in camp. And you, Maltion, you can get a pretty easy number out of her for that. There are 32 people in this camp right now, not counting you all, and not counting the fighters.
Okay.
And remind me what it is, Connie, that you said to her.
I think I said something like,
You were
nice.
trying to do the merciful thing. Yeah, like you're trying to extend the most mercy you possibly can.
And they shot at us first.
Yeah, and
they shot at us first, extending this mercy. Sorry, they're dead. Like,
she'll look at you and she'll just say, the goddess couldn't give us mercy earlier. She couldn't give us mercy when we were starving. She couldn't give us mercy when we were still in our homes. Fuck your mercy, I don't want it.
Well, I think we're out of sugar.
Look.
Let's make this simple. How much blood do you want on your hands? Sugar's out. How much? You got a couple people on your hands already. How many more do you want by not saying anything? Because if you say nothing, I'll assume it's everybody here. So, how much do you want on your hands?
The other fighters and I, we took this up because we knew that what we could do was better than facing poverty and facing our children going hungry. And if we have to die to make sure that doesn't happen, then by gods, we will die.
Spoken! All right!
No. That...
Your selflessness is astounding. Do you really value your own pride that much? Because I assure you right now, your children are not living in the lap of luxury. You are not only in poverty, you are the definition. And yet you still would lay down your lives and subject all 33 people here to further trauma just so that you are not taken away in constraints.
You can see her eyes widen a little bit at the exact number coming from you. And she says, when you got nothing else left, pride is priceless.
Jade is ready.
Go ahead, yes.
No, I was going to say, like, while they're talking, Jade is rounding up anybody who looks like a fighter, because that's what she said.
You left all of the fighters back with Charlie.
Okay, so that's all there. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just like, so Jade will, like, leave Callum, and then she'll head over to Jalen. All right. Rope in hand. We're decided.
If you think pride is priceless, Jalen, then you've never actually gone hungry before.
Is Jalen resisting being bound?
That depends on how you're trying to bind her.
Just hand, you know, like kind of like the rest of them, just like hands.
She's not offering her hands to you to be bound. She's standing there, hands at her side.
Jade will grab heads like, you want to make this a strength contest? Go ahead.
If you try to grab her, she will try to get free.
Always gotta do it the hard way.
So you are trying to grapple her. Go ahead and make me an athletics roll.
Okay. Is there any way I can make this acrobatics instead?
Nope. You are trying to physically restrain someone. This is athletics.
That's 100% fair. 19.
And she rolled a natural 1.
Yes.
So you reach for her and she tries to jerk out of your reach, but she loses her balance on the honestly fairly uneven rocky floor here. And as she's falling, you grab her wrist and twist it behind her. And without too much trouble, you're able to grab her other wrist. And you're basically holding her up by her bound hands at this point.
Yep. Wrapped up. Well, Callum?
Push her back up, standing.
Okay.
Callum, enjoy organizing your people. We got what we need. Let's go.
You're taking all of them? What are the rest of us supposed to do?
Well, negotiations fell through, buddy.
What? Is there anything that I... Is there anything that I can do? Like, what?
Who did not, amongst your fighters, go steal and be honest?
I mean, we all went out in shifts. Even some of the people here went out in shifts. It wasn't just fighters, not in the beginning.
I don't need to know about the people.
I'm gonna ignore that last part.
Now think carefully. It was just the people who fought? Who went out to the farms?
Who physically took things? Let's put it that way. Not who drove the cart.
I have to make an intelligence check for Callum real quick here. Hold on.
It's like, work with me, buddy. I'm trying to give you a break.
Buddy, come on. We're trying to give you
There's like
an
so
out.
many people here. Callum, shut up.
Okay.
I need my plausible deniability. Be quiet.
The wind was
Honey,
very
we're
loud.
trying to keep your family safe. Shut the fuck up. Like, open your mouth a little bit, but not that much. Honey, come on.
I mean, I guess nobody who was here. The last group that went out was 13 people, and it was
the individuals back there who we fought with.
I
am giving him the most meaningful look that I can.
I mean, no, Selwyn didn't go on that trip.
And who's Selwyn?
Who's that? We'll send him back.
He's the big guy that he'll kind of point at he'll lean around, and Keon, you've gotten the two big guys who you were fighting tied up, and Jade, you've got the 3 crossbow people on a string. So lean around and point at one of the people who you've got tied up, Keon, one of the big guys. The one who was fighting the big guy.
Keon, let our lucky passenger on his flat.
We'll need a cart for.
Yeah, we're gonna need a cart. Well, Keon will untie the one that Kayla was referring to.
Okay. And it is the one who you and he formed a grudging respect.
Was he the one who got
last
horribly injured?
Yes.
Or
actually he was.
As he passes, I'll put a cure wounds on him.
Alright, so you lay your hand on him and start to say the necessary words. And he'll go, what the yeah, what are you doing to me?
Giving you
She's trying to help you, which you can use all the help you need right now.
Unless you want those injuries to heal over the next few months rather than the next few seconds.
Oh, if that's all, and he'll kind of lean back towards you a little bit. Looks very hesitant.
I'll put first level cure wounds into him.
Okay.
And that will be.
And you can see that some of the bruising that had started to appear in the, like, you can see, like, there is barely a person that you've seen so far who doesn't have holes in their shirts and whose straps keeping their armor on are not frayed and the buckles rusted. Like, these are not people who are fighters by profession. So you can see some of the bruises fade, and a couple of the cuts from Keon's glaive or knit themselves back together. Okay. And he goes, under normal circumstances, I might say thank you.
I understand. Can I cast sending?
Certainly you can. Who would you like to send to?
I have sent you a message.
Okay.
As to who might like to cast something to.
Once you read that, I have a question for you.
Yes, you can, Darby. Her name is Liliana.
Okay.
And yes, Jade, what is your question?
Looking around, do I see a cart nearby?
There are in fact 3 covered wagons.
Covered
That are
wagons.
kind of in the rear of this. And
What?
as you look around, you can see that there is no back exit to this area. This is truly like
Up against
a cave. They are up against the walls.
Gotcha. Do I know, like, offhand, like, average market price for a wagon roughly in this condition?
I'd say that you would for sure. It's you'd probably want to take at least 2 horses to pull the full group, although that would be slower going. You might want to take more.
Where's my money? Okay, there it is. Okay, so horses. So for horse and covered wagon with clearly some age. How much would that be?
With clearly some age, I'd say that for these horses, looking as they are, these are not like excellent
Prime horses.
Yeah, no, these horses they've been fed, but only as much as they can as the people can feed them to survive. You can tell by looking at them. And the cabins are not in the the wagons are not in the best repair. You can say you could probably fetch a good 50 gold pieces for the bundle if you took 2 horses in a wagon.
All right. Jade'll... Yeah, she'll do it out of her money. That's fine. Jade'll, like, go in her pouch, hand 50 gold to Callum. Here you go. That's about going rate for what I see. Taking these horses and the wagon.
I have...
Did what I was gonna do.
That's...
You can give your money instead.
That's decent of you, I guess.
It's what you're getting.
And you can hear all 4 of you coming off from the side from one of the tents.
Oh no.
Papa!
God damn it.
And you see a child of about 7 years
I've been
old.
a merc longer than y'all.
Child of about 7 years old. You can't really tell gender, but sprints out of a tent, and you see a young man who's trying to keep a hand on her shoulder and has kind of been pulled out behind her, and she is making a run for one of the men on the crossbow string. And she runs up to him if no one's stopping her, and she grabs
I was gonna say, like,
him.
I don't stop, pull it arm out.
Okay. I mean...
Just gently, just sort of, you should go back to the tent now.
Where are you taking my papa?
Town.
Why? You said we don't go to town.
Your papa's been to town before.
Sorry, what was that, Connie?
Did I receive a reply?
Yes, you would have.
Whereabouts? How old does this little girl look?
Again, they look like they're about 7 years old, maybe, but they also look like they've spent a couple of years hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Very patched tunic that's like definitely a little bit too short is hitting right above the knees. Connie, you received the reply that I sent to you just now.
How would I describe the path we took here?
Up to you.
I took a left at that tree and a right at the 2 after it.
Correct.
I will add an addendum to the message that I sent to you, actually.
Okay.
You know, nah, multi-other bullet, someone else do with the kid.
Sweetie.
She will make her way. She will try to make her way past you, Connie. She will try to
I'll
duck
just-
under your arm to get to him.
I'll look at her. I'm just gonna keep a hand on her shoulder, looking at whoever the child is trying to get to.
And he is not. He is looking at his daughter, and he is trying not to cry. And he says, "It'll be okay, sweetie. Go and wait with your brother." I'll be back from town before you know it.
Want to give your pops a hug before he goes?
And she will duck under your arm, and she will go, and she will latch herself around one of his legs. She's pretty short. And she'll say, "Will you bring me back anything?" And he goes, "I'll try and find some oranges for you." And she goes, "Oranges, I love oranges. Are you gonna be able to?" And he's like, I'll try. And he'll say, now go and back with your brother, sweetie. You shouldn't have come out. You know that." And she goes, "Okay." And she'll make her way back, and she'll say to Connie, "Make sure he comes back soon."
I'll do my best.
And then she'll run back into the tent.
Yeah, I'm loading up some of the people onto the cart.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing else to do.
So as you go into the, you see that there are actually a couple of people hiding in the wagons.
Huge.
Yep.
Um,
Or take one to. Yeah, they're not hiding.
yeah,
in one.
generally, most of them go without argument. A couple of them look pretty pissed off at you, but they have an eye, especially on Keon and Jade's weapons, and they don't cause trouble for you.
Caleb and the one who didn't steal. They're
Selwyn.
the ones that Selwyn. I'd like to speak to those two.
Certainly.
I've spoken to the head of the church, and the sisters are willing and able to provide shelter and food for the rest of you all. Should you be able to head there?
Really?
That's what she said.
There's a lot of us here. All of us?
Provided the number of you is around 30 or so.
Yeah, about there.
She says she would.
Do you need us to come with you too?
Probably best not to. You could either stay here, and I can bring the church back here with you to you, or you can head to town after we have gone.
Can't we come with you? We kind of two people can't guard this whole group.
How many days travel are we from town?
It took the four of you on foot about a day and a half. Almost 2 days. It also, I should note, is getting dark at this time.
Yep. We gotta go. Connie,
It's
wrap it up.
gonna take them a while to pack up all their things to go, so we're gonna leave before them.
Yeah, y'all got coordinating to do.
I guess. Where do we find the church? In Trivek?
The church is in Trivek. The church is saloon.
Okay. We'll make our way there, I guess.
Well,
thank
them.
you.
Hopefully they can meet you on the road.
With a group this size, this many kids,
how long do you think it'll take for you to pack up and head out?
to the road. Without Jalen, it's kind of hard getting anybody to work together, but I'd guess maybe 3 or 4 days.
Then on our return to the church, we'll return as well. I'll check in tomorrow morning.
Okay. Sure.
To see that you are all right.
Sure. You can see he looks kind of weirded out by this statement.
You'll hear something in your head. It'll be my voice. It's 25 words or less to reply. The goddess
All
allows
this
for some
magic. Okay. Sure. Whatever.
Come on, Connie.
Can we leave them at least these 2, some weapons? Unless you have more weapons back there.
We don't exactly have a stockpile.
I mean, the weapons that they dropped are still outside of town, so they can.
Yeah, they're still
Alright,
dropped. So
Then,
I only took one great sword, so.
I took the one crossbow.
alright.
All right,
Weapons are
now
Let's go.
Mosey, let's go.
Okay. So you take one of the carts and 2 horses, I'm assuming.
The corpses, are they going to have to be in the cart as well?
Do you have another way to transport them?
The horses
Nope.
in the cart?
The corpses.
The horses
The
are-
corpses.
The
Corpses.
corpses. Gotcha.
Yeah, we're just gonna put them in the cart.
That'd be
Boy.
fine. Just the carts were covered, right? Just wrap them in
Yes.
whatever was covering the carts.
I'll throw a sheet. Can I whisper a prayer over their bodies before I put them in the cart?
Okay, so y'all are taking the cart, you're leaving.
We're taking
Yeah.
the
We're
cart.
leaving. The
Uh,
bodies are being
You've
put
got
in.
Jalen and the 4 fighters in the back, I
Mhm.
assume.
Yep.
Yep.
And then get the other ones in there as well.
You can definitely hear the sounds of like crying coming from a couple of the tents as you leave. But you make your way out. You make your way back to where Charlie is holding the group of people, all of whom are looking very dejected at this point.
Good. Broken spirit. Perfect. Load up.
All right, and are you binding them before you put them in the cart, or are you just
Yes.
getting Charlie in there too?
No, Charlie.
No.
would-
No.
Charlie's not
Binding
gonna
them
fit
before
in
they
the
go
cart.
on the cart.
Yeah. I will tell Charlie to release them one at a time so that they can be bound and then set into the cart.
All right. And so Charlie will, using his tentacle arms, he will, one at a time, like basically his tentacles will grow to wrap around the individual and then release them from one side and kind of push them out of the group and kind of spit them out one at a time at you.
Well done as always, Charlie. Once they're all on the cart, I would like to cast Calm Emotions on all of them.
Sure.
Just to keep them all relaxed and chill. It's a charisma save for all of
Okay.
them. DC 16.
So it looks like Jalen is unaffected, but the rest of the group does appear to be slightly calmer. They weren't, I mean, they were all clearly upset, but none of them was in a particularly violent mood except for Jalen, and Jalen, unfortunately, with a natural 20, does succeed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I will use another sending to send this back.
Okay.
Unless she uses sending to send to me.
Yo, dog, I heard you like sending.
Who needs sending when you can just speak telepathically?
Huh. Did I have to expend a spell slot
That's
to send
totally a skill
next-
from the College of, what were you? College of again?
College of Lore.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
College of Lore.
Yeah.
Sure that's not, haven't changed in any time?
No, pretty sure. Technically, bards don't exist, so I'm from the College of, oh god, what city is the capital?
Ordless.
Ordless. Technically, I'm from the college of Ordless because bards aren't mechanically a thing. But
Yep. Sure aren't.
yeah, good times.
Yeah, after we settle up accounts, we're gonna have to talk about that.
All right.
Yeah.
And you all, with your, go ahead.
Did she send that with sending, or do I have to expend the spell slot to reply?
She replied to you. You sent to her. She replied to you.
Then I will expend my 4th level spell slot to
Okay. And you all are putting the 2 corpses in the group cart as well. Yes.
We're wrapping them in whatever was covering the wagon
Okay.
and putting them in the cart with us.
saying a prayer over them as they're. Can spare the dying? Not they're dead. They're definitely dead. Can it stop them from like decaying or something?
No, that is a different spell.
thing.
Yeah, that's a different spell.
That's
Gentle Repose.
Gentle repose.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, hopefully they
only-
don't decay very quickly in a day.
If only
Well,
I
we-
used all those sending
We wrap
spells.
them up.
Yeah, we were. It was a day and a half to get here on foot. We've got a cart now.
Yep.
That's fine.
And by the time you're done getting everyone into the cart, Maltion, you know that there's about 5 minutes left of Charlie being present. He's around for an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's about 5 minutes left of Charlie being present.
Sick. I will, if everyone is in the cart, I'll just go, well done. See you next time. And I'll end the spell.
Okay. And a portal will open behind him, and he will roll backwards into it, and it will close.
Dope.
It's now
Well.
approaching 8 o'clock at night.
Ready to get a move on?
Driving ships.
I will be trailing behind the cart, making sure that they don't just jump
Jump
out.
off. Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea.
Who is driving the cart, may I ask?
Jade will.
Okay. Do you have proficiency?
Actually, no. We're in night. Hold on. One of you dark vision people do it.
I'll drive the cart.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have proficiency in land vehicles?
No,
Oh, right. Then I need you to make me an animal handling check.
that's fine. 16.
Okay. So with your dark vision, the horses don't particularly seem to trust you, especially with the scent of death that's following them in the cart everywhere that they go. But you take a moment to kind of gently, stroke them on the nose, acquaint yourselves with them, and they can't see very well in front of them in this dark, but you manage to guide them fairly well along the path that you're returning at this point.
How intelligent are horses?
Not very.
Is it higher than a 4?
I do not
I
believe
doubt
so.
Because I could be. No, it only lasts 10 minutes and it's concentration.
Riding horses have an intelligence of 2.
Yeah.
Can I beast bond with them?
If you would like to, you may.
I'd love to expend a 2nd level spell slot to beast bond with them and just I create a telepathic or a 1st level spell slot, I guess, because it doesn't do anything if I upcast it.
Okay.
Telepathic. It understand telepathic messages. I can communicate simple emotions and concepts. Blah blah blah.
Okay, you can cast it on one of them at a time. It's a concentration
Are
spell.
they in front of each other or next to each other?
They are next to each other.
Next to each other.
But the spell does specify that it's a beast.
Yes. So I'm just doing it to one of them, and just soothing it and just telling it to, communicate forward and
Okay.
stuff like that.
So one of them is a lot friendlier to you than the other one, but both of them are moving forward, following your command. Maltion and Jade, where are you two situated?
Jade's gonna be up front with Connie, and Jade's gonna be trying to nap because we've got a ways to go. So she's gonna try and nap and stay while while Connie's driving. That way she can switch with whoever when they get tired.
Okay.
Maltion's just riding in the cart.
Okay.
I would like to do some fuckery real quick. That
Of course you would.
happens over the period of a couple groups of 6 seconds. But I would
Roll
like
for
to.
fuckery.
I would like
Basically.
to. I would like to
That's
turn
a-
my 4th level spell slot into 4 sorcery points,
Okay.
and then one of my 3rd level spell slots into 3 sorcery points.
Okay.
And then I would like to turn 2 of my spell slots in 2 of my sorcery points into a 2nd level spell slot.
Okay.
What stat is the fuckery stat?
Charisma.
Charisma.
Charisma is most definitely the fuckery stat.
All right, I got a 4 on fuckery.
God bless.
All right. And as you all set out, and Maltgang, you take a moment to channel your inner magic into converting some of your higher abilities into your sorcery points. We are going to go ahead and take our first break.
Woo!
So we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. Join us when we get back. Make sure that you drink some water, eat a snack. If you haven't eaten enough today, go use the restroom and join us back here in 10 minutes when we come back for Hidden Magics. See you in a bit.
I like how all 3 of you simultaneously.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Hope that you had a lovely break. We are jumping back in, and our mercenary group is escorting a group of bandits back to the city of Trivek.
Tearing all those families apart. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's for the money. We do what we do.
So Connie is currently driving the cart, Jade napping next to her. Maltion is riding in the cart with the bandits, and Kian is trailing behind, correct?
Well, seems about right.
All right. Is there anything particularly that you'd like to do while Connie is taking the first round of driving?
Was gonna converse with one of them, but Maltion's in the cart. Don't exactly trust Maltion, so I'm just gonna...
You can just ask Meltion to get out of the cart.
Nah, that's fine. Just wander behind and just kind of just thinking to himself while keeping an eye out.
Okay. Jade, I know you said you were taking a nap. Maltion, anything in particular you'd like to be doing during this cart ride?
Yes. I would like to stare into the distance and not blink until my name is called.
Okay. And, Connie, how long would you like to drive?
I guess until I feel tired. How long would it take for us to get back to town with this cart?
I would say that with the weight of the cart and the speed at which you're traveling, it would probably take you about a day.
So about
About,
little
by
less.
which I mean
than-
about 24 hours.
Okay, so a little less than the time that it took. For
A
us to
little
get-
less, especially because you're not, tracking, you are making your way, you know the route, more or less. Actually, can you roll me either in nature or an animal handling check?
Sure. Am I still brain connected with one of the horses at the moment?
It lasts for 10 minutes.
It's been longer than 10 minutes?
Why
It is?
don't you roll the check and then we'll see if you're still connected.
Okay. I would probably drive the cart for maybe like 4 hours or so.
Okay.
I love you guys. 23.
23. Okay, so you know that 2 horses pulling a cart of this size, you're going to want to rest them every few hours or so that the horses don't die.
Okay, so 4 hours would be...
Probably pushing it a little, but yeah, that'd be fine.
So maybe more like 3, and then we give the horses a break.
Okay.
And I'd switch off and so on at that point.
All right, so it's about 3 in the morning.
Yep.
And you all are taking a break. Is anyone waking up Jade, or is she still napping in the driver's seat?
I will assume that Jade is going to drive next, so we should probably wake up Jade toward the end of our break.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let
No need to
the-
wake up her.
All right. And the other 3 of you are just keeping an eye on the bandits?
No, I'm gone.
Okay.
Just-
I'm keeping an eye on the bandits.
Unless someone speaks to me. Then,
Okay.
Maltion?
Hmm?
You take the you take the walking shift.
sure. Since I will get out of the cart.
And I will sit in the cart for the next leg of the trip.
Okay. I will say that this cart was not built for... It wasn't built for sitting. There are no benches in there. They're all just kind of sitting on the ground. And you're sitting on the ground with bugbear legs, which means your knees are basically at your shoulders right now.
Yeah, no, it's just
It's a little cramped in there. It's not built to carry... What is it, 16 people? So... And you have to, scrunch up your feet so as to not hit the two bodies that are in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is 3 a.m. You all stop to take your break quickly. Jade is asleep in the driver's seat. Is she lightly snoring, or does she sleep without snoring?
She sleeps without snoring.
Okay, so just sleeping silently with no moving, no snoring. You're still in the ravines at this point. It is fairly dark. You can see only the stars above you. The moon's not yet made its way directly overhead. So it is very dark down here in the ravine. What would y'all like to do? I'd say you rest for about an hour, and Connie, you judge that that's fine for the horses, so it's coming up on 4 in the morning.
Rest. Okay.
A short rest.
Okay. I just keep an eye out for things.
Okay.
Was there anyone horribly injured in the back of the cart?
There were a couple of people who looked worse for wear, but none of them looked at risk of dying.
Okay.
I'm running at about half health.
Oh, fuck. Then I will give you how about a first level cure wounds, friend?
Wrong campaign.
No one's gonna get that, AJ. No one in chat knows.
I know. I'm sorry.
You heal what? 6 plus 5.
11.
11. You heal 11 hit points.
Drop my pencil.
Yeah, can I do this? How long will it last if I do this?
That is fine. Alright.
Yeah. Wow! Ooh, I can do this during. Oh, I can do this as. Half my proficiency rounded up. I can expend the use of my channel divinity to gain a spell slot up to level 2. I will use 1 to regain a spell slot.
Okay, so you branch channel divinity to get a spell slot back.
Yeah, at
Alright.
the 2nd level.
Okay.
And oh, no, I'm not a druid with that ability anymore. Honey.
All right. And at the end of the hour-long rest I think y'all said Jade was going to drive next.
Yeah, Jade's driving. I'm in the cart.
Okay.
Multion's walking behind.
Connie will sit next to Jade.
Okay, so as Connie kind of taps you on the shoulder to wake you up, Jade, you wake up. And it is dark.
Ah.
Jade does not have dark vision.
Sure don't.
Eyes of night.
Okay,
At
so
least for the next hour.
Connie will kind of run along the brim of her hat, and you feel that silvery flare in your eyes, and you can again see in front of you.
Well, that's nifty. Thank you much.
Of course. Let me know when it runs out. I can't do it again, but I can try doing something else.
Alright. Let's try and let you get a little shut-eye, get a little nap in.
Thank you.
All right. So you all start making your way, and Jade, can I have you make an animal handling check unless you are proficient in land vehicles?
Sure aren't.
Okay.
10?
Okay, so you're having a bit of a time getting these horses going. They liked Connie. They're tolerating you. You're having to do quite a bit of tugging to get them to be on a straight path, but you're definitely making your way. Like, they're not stalled.
Okay. Good. Great. Lovely. I love this for me.
And Keon, I believe you wanted to do something while you were in the cart?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just
I'll say
kind
this
of.
cart is about 15 feet long and like 8 feet wide maximum, so you are maybe 10 feet away from Connie and Jade.
Cool.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, that's fine. So I look at the leader
Mm-hmm.
of them, and it's like, you've got to understand, this is all part of the job.
She's not looking at you. She's like dead-eyeing.
That's fine. You don't have to talk. Look, I'm not. All I was told was to get the bandits, bring them alive, which most of you are, like I've said before. I have no allegiance with this moon goddess or any religion, so I don't believe in a god's mercy, for I have my own qualms with God. And, sometimes you get things you deserve, and sometimes you get things you are unfortunate that it's happening to you. God, I know the wangs of both. But you must understand that this is purely the consequences of your own actions. That you had to, due to circumstances beyond your control. And I respect both of those. That this was decisions out of your control. I've had my fair share of that, and that you did what you had to do, but you have to suffer the consequences.
No response.
It's never... There's no easy part of the job. But I don't know why he didn't just ask for help instead of forcefully taking it. But I'm sure you have your own reasons. As do we have our reasons for taking you in.
She'll shift her glance to you, so she's staring directly at you. She doesn't say anything, but now she's glaring at you instead of the horizon.
One thing I do disagree with you on, dying does not help your people. Neither does getting arrested, but it's way better than you dying. So, you staking your pride in death before getting captured, that would have just doomed everyone you were protecting. And that is a poor lapse of judgment. As a leader. And I will turn around and kind of have my feet hanging out from the edge.
Okay. And she won't respond to you at all. She'll shift as you shift. She'll move from glaring to you back to glaring at the horizon. Anyone else like to do anything while Jade is driving? Okay, Connie's taking a nap. Maltia?
I have been counting the steps we're taking.
Okay. Is anyone, by the way, keeping a watch out? Okay.
Like watching the prisoners.
Surrounding prisoners, anything.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
just
guessing I'm concentrating on driving and making sure I don't run into anything.
Yeah, you're having a tough time driving. You are focusing on that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Maltion is looking around.
Okay.
I'm just
are
glancing
you
in the cart and out the cart.
okay? Maltian, do you have a light source of any kind?
No, and Maltion wouldn't cast light either.
Okay, so make me a perception check at disadvantage.
Sick.
And Kian, you said that you are keeping an eye on.
Yeah, just like every so often switching off the prisoners to looking out
Okay.
of the cart.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
That is a dirty 20, ma'am.
At
On disadvantage?
I rolled a 17 and a 19.
Wow.
Bless your heart,
nice.
child.
I rolled an 18.
Okay. So with an 18, you can't. You're kind of uncomfortable in this cart. You're much more used to walking, when you're in the wilderness. But you're making it work. You're shifting around, looking outside the cart, looking inside. The prisoners don't seem to be giving you any trouble. They are pretty broken-spirited, and given your reaction to it, you can assume that it's at least in part due to Charlie. You've taken in people with bounties before, and they're not usually this broken-spirited right off the jump, and so it probably has something to do with that aberration that held on to them for the better part of an hour. Maltion, you can't see very well in the dark, and you're not very used to being out here in the woods, but you are a very adaptable person. You get used to things quickly. You are becoming much more accustomed to the acoustics of this place, and as Jade is working on her shift of driving, you all are making your way out of the ravines into just the winding bases of the hills. And there's still periods where it's difficult for you to keep track of what's going on, but for the most part, your hearing is very attuned, and you can tell there's nothing amiss. This sounds like it did as you were coming in. Fairly sparse wildlife, but then again, there's not very much for wildlife to live on around here, so.
Okay. Maltion will just continue to count every step they take.
And Jade, as you're driving for the first hour, you have your 300-foot dark vision, and sight is not a problem for you. Coming up at about 5 o'clock in the morning, just as you all are driving eastward now, just as you begin to see a pale orange glow building in the dark gray of the eastern horizon, your dark vision, you can feel a fizzle and a fade, and you are once again a human.
Does Jade mention that?
You were at the back of the cart, so I don't know that you'd hear her if she did.
Okay.
Just logistically speaking.
Yeah.
So Jade, you no longer have dark vision.
I will say that you have seen Maltion cast the light spell before on the way here. So that is up to Jade.
That's true. Sure have.
So what are you gonna do after that hour when the dark vision fades? You gonna keep going? You gonna wake up Connie? You gonna try something else?
I think because she knows Maltion can do the light spell, but she also doesn't want to wake up Connie. They're trying to have to drive at the same time. I don't want to wake up Connie. Damn it!
We could stop for a second.
No, it goes against my moral compass.
Valid.
Connie's asleep.
Yes, she is.
Jade will light her way a little bit then.
Okay. So you are driving with no light source?
No. She's going to make a little, a small one, maybe even light the reins or something.
Okay.
So you can have a little bit of off of it.
Okay, so you cast light on the reins, and you can see 30 feet in front of you, 60 feet with the dim light. So you can see in front of you, not as far as you could, but you can now see. And with your perception checks, Keon and Maltion, I would say that you notice that there is a light coming from the front of the cart.
Cool.
You know what? Hold on. I mean, Jade still did what she did, but I want to double check her equipment really quick.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. All right. Cool. So Jade lit up the reins, but Jade is also going to grab from her pack one of her torches that she has, just double checked.
Okay.
And just, when necessary, just be at the ready to light it.
Okay. And the light spell lasts for an hour, so you are making your way for another hour, and it's coming on 6 in the morning. The sun has started to properly rise in the horizon. You squint a little bit as it peeks over the hills and the trees that you see coming up. In the distance, far in the distance.
Okay.
You come around a bend and you can see laid out before you, almost as though it's a downhill slope from here, much of the surrounding region bathed in it like a peach and orange light as the sun is rising. You don't have a need for a light source anymore. You can see just fine.
Okay. Take the light source off. She's going to briefly kind of like light the torch so it does seem a little burned at first, and then douse it again and stow it.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy about doing this?
Yes, she is.
Go ahead and roll for me a sleight of hand check, and I'll say you have it at advantage.
Okay, good.
Because no one's up at the front of the cart with you. Many of the bandits have been sleeping.
I'm probably not going to roll better than that, but just in case, I'll go ahead and roll again. 22.
Okay, 22. Okay,
yes.
So no one seems to notice. Maltion and Keon, you don't. Okay. So you make your way. You know that Connie drove for about 3 hours. Would you like to drive that long as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even it out.
So you get to about 7 o'clock in the morning, and you make your stop at the base of a hill.
All right, and can horses eat rations?
You could try feeding a horse rations.
Jade's gonna, like, once we're at the rest, she doesn't have anything else, and it's a drought, so I don't think survival's gonna yield much, so she's gonna kind of, I mean, she'll like, I mean, worst comes to worst, if the horse doesn't want it, she'll eat it. Kind of like wave, like once we're like stopped at a, you know, taking our rest for the day, like kind of like wave it by the horse, like, do you want some? I don't know if he'll actually eat this, but.
And both of the horses kind of lean their heads forward and kind of sniff and use their top lip to kind of like lip at the package. You open it up. In it are what's in your rations? What would Jade bring?
Jade would bring. She tends to like try and bring stuff that's that'll last a bit. So probably some jerky, some bread. When she can find the mushrooms.
Okay.
And then like maybe like a piece of fruit for balance. Again, she can find it.
So both of the horses are immediately interested in the piece of fruit that's in your bag. That's what they're most drawn to.
But
they are kind of interested in the bread. Not much else.
That's fair. So the fruit, like, split the bread, split the fruit, eat them both.
Okay. So you split. We'll say it's an apple. You split the apple. You turn it in half. Offer half to each of them. Tear the loaves into smaller pieces for the horses so that they can eat them and eat that.
Yes.
Okay.
Small, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can tell these horses are only fed as over the bus. So, like, yeah, like, you've been doing some good work, horses. You deserve some food.
Okay. So you all have been going for about 6 hours. It's going to take you another 18. If you'd like, we can fast travel back and say that you're taking shifts. Or we can narrate
that be
this.
my vote. Fast travel, fast
I
travel.
said what I needed to say.
Okay.
Give me Witcher 3, not Witcher 2.
In that case, I would like. Are you all? Or is everyone gonna take a round with the cart, or is just one person gonna be? Is it gonna be off and on driving with just Jade and Connie?
That's up to Meltion and Keon.
I can take a drive.
Yeah, I have no problems with driving. So
Okay.
that people get adequate sleep.
So with the time that's going to take you all to get there, I'd say that probably each of you is going to take another round in the driver's seat, so I'll have a animal handling check from each of you, unless any of you have proficiency in land vehicles.
Nope. That's a dirty 20.
12.
15. That I fed the animals. They like me better now.
That is how it works.
That's her thought.
As a point of note, when we get back to
Connie?
the city,
Am I allowed to keep sleeping?
You want to sleep for the entire ride?
I'll sleep until I can get enough sleep to have constituted what I need to for sleep.
for a log
Which
rest.
I think is 6 hours?
Sleeping
And then-
in the passenger seat, you're not exactly the most
horse-drawn
rested, but I'll give
carriage.
you a long rest if you sleep through three driver rotations.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as people keep letting her sleep, she'll sleep.
Okay.
I
so I'd say
also-
after 3 rotations. Go ahead, Maltian.
I also would imagine that I will have a point of exhaustion because Maltion does not sleep at any point during this return to Trivek.
Yeah. So any of you who are not choosing to take time to even nap are going to get a point of exhaustion.
So,
If you nap, you don't get the benefits of a long rest, but you're not going to suffer from exhaustion. If you try to do what Connie's doing and fully sleep through several shifts, then you'll get a long rest.
Connie will wake up if someone wakes her up, but if no one's bugging her, she goes.
Jade very specifically did not wake you up.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Connie
Okay.
is sleep.
All right.
It's 6 hours of sleep required, or 8.
You are
I'd say-
jostling around in the front of a thing. You're gonna need to sleep a little bit longer to feel fully rested in your body.
8.
So
What does a point of exhaustion give me? Like, what?
disadvantage on ability checks.
that is correct.
Cool. I will take a... I will
Point of
take a
exhaustion? Okay. So Jade, you do not suffer from exhaustion, but you do not gain the benefits of a long rest. Maltion and Keon, both of
Okay.
you, by the time we return to Trivek, will have a point of exhaustion. Connie, you do gain the benefits of a long rest. So we'll start with, who would like to take the, let's just see, who's taking the first, second, third driving shift right now.
I will take the second,
Okay.
and I will encourage Keon, yes, to take the first. So that way we don't have disadvantage on our animal handling checks.
Yeah.
Okay. So Keon, you take the first. You got a dirty 20. You're not used to riding with horses, but you are used to being around them in in hunting parties that you've gone on, so you don't have too much trouble gaining these horses' trust and guiding them along the road. When you pass it off to Maltion, you got a 10?
12.
12. Again, you're a city kid. You're not super used to this, but you've seen plenty of people do it, and you've always been pretty good at
Yeah.
following
could
others'
mimic
examples.
people.
Yeah. So, you make a passable go at it. You're doing better than Jade did her first time around. But when Jade takes the reins again, it is with more confidence.
Give him an apple. It solves everything.
I don't carry food.
And Jade, by the time your 3-hour shift is up, the sun is actually getting close to setting behind you. It's about 7 o'clock at night, we'll say. I didn't do the math, we're just going to call it that. It's about 7 o'clock at night, everybody. And you are reaching the edge of the forest that you walked through a few nights ago.
All right. If she thinks she'll still need a little bit more, she will go to Maltown.
And Connie, I'd say at this point you are definitely awake. You slept through the day.
Woo!
Actually,
Long
no.
rest to me!
That's the case. If she needs light this time, she will
Connie.
light that light that torch that she was already briefly burning.
Okay.
Picking new spells. Oh,
All right. So Jade, you're gonna go ahead after this. After resting the horses, you're gonna keep the reins and continue
Mhm.
driving, and I'll let you keep your old animal handling check. And after going through the forest for about, pardon me. And after making your way through the forest for about an hour, you pull the horses out of the woods to Elsha's farm.
All right. Which at that point, she'll douse torch. She's like, all right, this is a more standard path. This is fine.
Mm-hmm. And you'll see that the sun is just setting, and Elsha and Amos and Kevin are all moving around the farm trying to do what they can. It is only the three of them there right now. Elsha usually has more hands, but they don't appear to be here at the moment.
Can I
go ahead.
be in the cart for this
Sure.
a little bit? I would like to ritual cast gentle repose on the bodies.
We can say that as you've been making your way through the forest, you can have done that, yes. They've begun to
Stink.
a little bit in the day that they have been dead and sitting in the back of a cart. There is a definite odor of death around them, but they haven't begun to, like, decompose.
Gentle reposing them
That's fine.
so
Okay.
that they stop getting worse.
Okay. So you do so, and it's... you can almost see a silver sheen coat. Like, you lift the blankets to do this, and you see, like, almost a silver light bathe over them.
Yeah, I'll do so just not lifting the entire thing, but just peeking a little.
Okay.
Then placing my hand under and doing the spell.
Gotcha. And Maltia and Keon, if Connie's in the cart, where are the two of you? There's an opening in the driver's seat next to Jade. You could both be walking.
Walking.
I will ride in the passenger seat.
Okay. So as the sun is dipping fully down beyond the trees, you come to Elsha's farm, and Elsha will be the first to see you coming, and she'll say, "Oh, you caught them. Nicely
Yep,
done."
sure did. Like, Jade kind of like maybe slows down a little bit, seeing that Elsha wants to talk, but kind of keeps going, just like, "Yep, rounding them up. Sorry, can't dally very long. Been a little bit of a long one."
I was gonna apologize for not being more help, but I see that you didn't need it. So good job.
Insight check.
We all make the choices we can live with. I get it.
You can go ahead and make an insight check, Connie.
13.
Okay. She is actually sorry that she couldn't be more help.
Is she actually happy we caught them?
She, it's kind of hard to read. She's coming off of a hard day of work, and you do see that she is fairly tired at the moment. Alright. And it's another about half an hour ride in a cart from here to Trivek. It's a lot faster going in the cart than it is on foot. Half an hour to 45 minutes if you're going at a pace that Keon can keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
So 45 minutes later, it's getting truly dark now, but you know this path, this road is well maintained, you're not concerned, and you make your way, pardon me, to the gates of Trivek, where the torches are lighting the doors. Yes?
Yep. Maltion's in the passenger seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maltion, would you give me the pleasure of joining me for a dinner after we've collected our bounty?
Certainly. Good way to celebrate.
Thank you kindly.
Of course. I am here to help.
Alright. And as you pull up to the gates, the guards, let's see. There are two guards outside. You do recognize both of them from your time leaving the city a few days ago. And they'll say, Crow's Cradle, right?
Correct.
Alright. How many you have with you?
Ooh, about a few.
It would be
You know,
11
bounties.
living
I believe it is.
because there were. Oh, we didn't take Callum or one of the big ones.
We did not take it. Yeah.
So it'd be 11 total. So 9 living.
9 living, 2 dead. That's correct. I believe.
Because there were 12 fighters.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take Callum. We didn't take the big guy.
Correct.
That puts it down to 10. But we did take Jalen. So yeah. It's
Correct.
11.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, you know, 9's still up to sleeping forever.
God's riddance. Okay. IDs, please, from you 4. And whatever they happen to have.
Yeah, not much, honestly, but, sure.
Any IDs on the lot of you?
A couple, the couple who are awake at the moment will be like, no.
Okay.
You know, all they got is their winning personalities for ID, unfortunately.
None of them are casters, I don't believe so.
Well, we have ways of figuring that out. And they'll take the 4 IDs and go into the small guardhouse that's on this side. Come back a couple minutes later and say, make sure you take them straight to city lockup, all right?
Sure thing.
Okay. Thanks for your service. We appreciate it. And you'll open
You
up
have a good
one of the larger doors in the gate so you can bring the cart in. And Jade, you know the city of Trivek pretty well. You've taken a couple of bounty contracts. You know the fastest route to get from the doors of the gates of the city to the doors of the lockup.
Time is money.
Yep, takes you about 15 minutes taking the shortcuts that you know best. And you get there, and the clerk at the lockup is a dwarf that you recognize. Her name is Alda. And she'll say,
Evening, Alda.
Good evening, Jade. What do you got with you?
Ooh, about a few. Turning in a big one. With of course, with help from my friends, rounded up some bandits, as it were.
All right, bring her on back, and I'll get you a receipt. How many exactly?
Oh, that would be 9 living and 2 deceased.
I'll have to let the morgue boys know. Okay. And she'll write you up a receipt and hand it to you and say, bring them around the back, drop them off.
Can do. You have a good one.
You as well. Drop off the 2 people in black leather aprons come to take the 2 deceased bodies. The other 9 are led into the lockup proper by a couple of attendants, and you can do as you wish.
All right. So I guess go back to Crow's Cradle to get to let Guildmaster know, whose name I definitely remember, that contract's complete and get paid.
Velma?
Velma.
Yes.
Velma, thank you.
That's what it was. I was like, I remember liking her name. What was it?
I only remember because Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
You would think I'd remember because Scooby-Doo, but it keeps slipping.
All right.
Catch me slipping up.
So
That's just what Keon's doing.
That painting of the guy going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Was it 25 for deceased?
25 for dead, 30 for alive.
I thought it was 50 for alive.
I think it's
30.
50 for alive.
Oh.
30? Really? Did I write that down wrong? I mean, I believe.
10 per head, 25, 50 gold for bringing them back alive, not including.
Oh, 50 for alive? Alright.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just like, I thought I remember 50.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Did my math wrong.
500 gold?
500 gold.
500 goldsmith. Sick on that.
Just split 4 ways.
All right. So you come back to the Crow's Cradle. You open the door, and Velma is working the front desk. It's the evening shift. Just say, "Oh, Jade, you're back. That was fast."
Time's money.
That's
Here's
the
a
truth.
receipt.
All right. And she'll count it up, and she'll say, "All right. By my total, that's 500 gold, and with the 10% guild cut, that's going to be 450 for the 4 of you to split.
Sounds fantastic.
All right. So she will go into the back room with her receipt, and she will come back out about 5 minutes later with 4 wallets, basically, 4 purses, and hand them to each of you.
Thank you kindly.
Found it. How much money did we get?
112 gold, and there's like a 0.5.
So 5 silver.
5 silver, yeah.
So 112 gold, 5 silver.
I will toss my purse to Jade.
Oh, well. Thank you kindly.
Interesting. And, you know, I might have other work for you all coming in soon. I know at least you, and she'll point at Maltion, you were interested in maybe joining up, right?
Yes, possibly.
Alright. Well, traditionally, with Crow's Cradle, you gotta take on 3 jobs and be successful in all 3 before you can join. Jade's been on a few dozen for us at this point. But for the other 2 of you, if you take on 2 more jobs, we can consider hiring you on. Interested?
Keep that in mind. I just need to go to sleep.
All right. Well, if I have work for you in the next couple of days, where can I reach you?
You can find me at the.
Go ahead.
You can find me at the Church's Saloon.
All right.
I'll be out for a few days though, so.
Whatever the cheapest inn is.
I'll likely be in the tourist center. That general area.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, Keon, your lodgings are most likely in the soldiers' quarter, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I suppose I did have a question.
Sure, if I can answer it, I'll try.
Would you happen to know what will happen to the individuals we brought in?
Bandits? That's usually a hanging. Should be a good, watching in a couple of days. If you wanted to go see that. There's usually a bit of a festival.
For sure hanging?
I mean, not for sure, of course. The judges got to hear their case, but banditry is not something that the Empire smiles on.
There's a small number of things that the Empire smiles on.
True enough there, I guess.
Very much so.
There a question for the DM.
Yeah.
There are how does the law work? Is there lawyers or something? Is there a way to
It's
No,
like
no,
usually
no.
the judicial system of the Empire.
How do you know?
Alright, time to stop the whole stream. Let's break down the Trivek.
Just would Connie know if there is like a lawyer or a law system or someone that she could speak to?
There would be the governors are in charge of their own regions and enforcing the law of the Empire within those regions. Generally in larger cities that are not the seat of the governor's power within that region, there would be a stand-in, basically, for the governor.
Okay,
the governor can always choose to preside over the proceedings themselves.
And the stand-in would be the one presiding over the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not really such thing as, there are people who you can hire professionally as advocates. You're not guaranteed an advocate.
Cool. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If we got... Well, if that's everything,
Kinda, dear. One of these days you're gonna learn not to ask questions you don't want the answer to.
I read people's fortunes. I find answers I don't want. I find answers to questions I didn't even know I was asking.
Just do what you like.
Connie's gonna go back to church.
Okay.
All
All right. Connie is heading back to her church. Keon, where are you heading?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, if you need me, you know where to find me.
Okay. And I will say, Keon, that if you're staying in the city, you can have found a way house that basically you get a private bunk that you can pay for that's like more long term than an inn. A little bit cheaper, not as nice.
That's fine.
Okay.
Keon doesn't do much.
Okay.
Good working with both of you, by the way. Have a good one. And I believe I asked you to dinner. You still up for that?
Yes. Let's go. Hopefully you'll be able to show me somewhere nicer than where I've eaten since I've been in the city.
Oh, most assured. I definitely can now. That you were so kind as to tip me.
Not kindness. Where are we going?
Like, Jade knows where the nicer places would be, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The nicest quarter would be the blue quarter.
Why don't we head over to the blue quarter?
Wonderful.
Okay.
Multion will follow Jade's lead.
And Connie, you're also heading in the direction of the blue quarter. Keon, you're heading to the soldiers' quarter. So we'll start with Keon. Keon, you're just going straight to sleep? I'll take that as a yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So Keon, you make your way toward the standard bearer, which is the way house that you've been staying at, and basically you just eyes half shut, open, make your way down the hallway toward your very small room, unlock it with the key you've been given, kick it open, drop your things, and fall onto the bed, which is about 6 inches too short for you, so your feet hang over the edge and your arm over the side, and you fall into a nearly catatonic sleep almost immediately.
Dope.
All right. Is there anything you dream about?
Ooh, long thought.
I think Keon is going to dream about I think he is going to dream about the how do I fucking say this? He's gonna think about when his brother was taken away.
Okay. So
And
fairly restless sleep for you.
and certain colors that were representative of that.
Okay. So a lot of dark grays and browns coloring your visions of the events, but a fairly restless, unhappy sleep for you. But a sleep nonetheless. Connie, you are heading in the same direction as Maltion and Jade. Are you walking with them, or are you taking a different path?
I would have probably scooted as quickly as possible to the church.
Okay.
I'd love to fire off Ascendant to Callum.
Go ahead and do so. What would you like to say to Callum?
This is Connie, the priestess, checking in. How is the packing going? Help is on the way soon.
You'll hear this is Callum. Hi, Connie lady, Miss Priestess. We're on our way. I haven't gotten much sleep. We'll be there in about 3, and then it cuts off.
Yeah, I'm just going straight to church. Just sending that off.
Okay. And you find your way to the church in the city, which is beautiful. It's has dark blue stones that make up the face of it, with small windows that, as the night has drawn and the sun has fully set at this point, you can see small burning white lights in the, is it 7?
7.
In the 7 small windows that make up the face of this church, and you can see that on the heavy dark wooden doors at the front, they have been specially treated so that when during the day there's really nothing but wood, during the nighttime there is a glowing, waxing gibbous moon that reflects the moon overhead and its current phase. And as you open the door, it is fairly quiet inside. You can see a number of sisters in their dark blue priestesses' robes making their way around. There are a couple of people who seem to be talking to one of the priests about sleeping in the temple for the night. Mm-hmm. And you can make your way into the back areas of the church where you would know to find the head priestess.
I would love to find the head priestess.
All right. And in her office is the first place you check. You knock and you find Sister Liliana.
Hello, sister.
Greetings, sister. How are you this night?
Well, this and that.
You mentioned in your sending 30 people in need.
I did.
Where are they? How can we help?
They are a couple days travel on foot out of town, almost 2 days travel out of town, in these ravines past the hills. My understanding is that they're in need of food and help getting on their feet again. Seems they used to be farmers.
Certainly, we can help with that. Farmers out in the ravines?
Used to be farmers. It seems that the drought has taken its toll on their livelihoods.
Oh, I see. And she will... Hold on. Yeah, okay. She seems to glean what you're not saying.
Yeah, Johnny's not trying to hide what her intentions, per se.
And she will say, undamaged, I pray they arrive here, and that all in their heart they want to be, make it be. And you recognize she is quoting from the Fragments of Saloon.
Yes, I don't have my book on me, so I cannot quickly fragment back.
I can pick a fragment for you, or if you'd like, you can just say that you quote something appropriate.
I will quote something appropriate.
Alright, so we'll say that you quote fragment 104, which would be, evening you gather back all that dazzling dawn has put asunder. You gather a lamb, gather a kid, gather a child to its mother.
They are about 3 days travel out, but I was hoping perhaps I could get some sisters to help keep them safe on their travels.
Certainly, I'll get a group together at once. Do you need rest, sister?
Perhaps a bit. But, I was also hoping, there are some individuals who may be in need of an advocate in their case.
We can likely assist. What exactly was the nature of their crime?
Stealing from farms. Mostly food and livestock.
No violence?
No, none that I could tell.
we can see about having someone help with their case.
They were turned in a group of 9 people who were alive, was correct?
Yes.
Of 9 individuals who were turned in today.
All right. Any names?
Jalen.
Jalen. All right. I'll see about having one of our sisters trained in the Advocate's Arts. Go help.
Thank you kindly, sister.
You're welcome, sister. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
No, I think that is it for the evening. I thank you kindly for your assistance in the matter.
It's the moon's way to show mercy. Why don't you go and grab just a bit of sleep while I round up a group, and you can lead them out at first light.
Sounds wonderful, sister. May the moon guide you.
And you as well. Alright, and you go off to grab some shut-eye, Connie. In the room.
Some more shut-eye.
Yeah, in the room provided to you by the church. Maltion and Jade, where are you heading in the Blue Quarter? Where are you trying to take Maltion out?
In very nice restaurant, somewhere where they can speak privately, preferably over their meal.
Okay. So you make your way toward one of the nicer restaurants in the Blue Quarter, which is called the Burrow. So called because it is a mostly underground restaurant. So you make your way up, and it's a very small building up on the surface. And you make your way in, and the person who is at the small table standing there, the maitre d', says, yes, how can I help you?
Pay private seating for 2.
Privacy is our specialty, certainly. Just one moment, please, and they will ring a small golden bell on the desk. And after about 30 seconds, another waiter will pop up from the door behind the desk, and they will, the maitre d' will say to them, take them to booth number 12, please. And the waiter will take you down, and will open a door, and it will lead in a very well-lit, very well-kept set of stairs downward into what you can see is a little winding path with heavy curtains that are obscuring the doorways to these private dining booths. And you'll pass several, and then they'll open up one. It's a red velvet curtain and usher you in. And it's a small table with 2 seats on either side.
All right, wonderful.
What can I get started for you this evening?
Just, let's see how the chef surprises.
All right. Anything to drink?
Just water from myself.
All right.
Water as well. If there's any meat, could you make sure that it's charred for me? Well
Certainly.
done. Thank you.
And they will back out and close the curtain behind them.
So, you're not the one I expected to invite me out to dinner. Amazing company, nonetheless.
Did you expect it from Keon?
Yes, actually.
Fair
Certainly
enough.
not Connie. I think she's a bit faster speed than I am.
Well, what can I say? You interest me. Now, whether having my interest is a good or bad thing remains to be seen, of course.
Is that something you would like to say to me?
I'm getting to that, but politeness first. First,
Why?
to a job completed well.
Maltion doesn't lift his drink. Their drink.
Sips anyway. Well, you present me with a bit of a problem. if I'm perfectly honest.
I have that effect on people.
You present me with a problem because I don't want anything to happen to you.
Really?
Yes, really. And considering your nature, that's a problem.
Mm.
As I mentioned before, I know what people like you can do, what you're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know you're doing the best you can with what you have. And I happen to make a promise to help when I can. You fall under that category of helping when I can.
You don't want to help with what I have planned.
I seriously doubt that.
Well, I have been known to dash doubts on occasion.
You want to tell me what you have planned?
That would put you at a great and terrible risk. And I promise this time I'm not just being dramatic.
Waiting.
And so, before I answer that question, hopefully you'll permit me one of my own.
Sure.
Why exactly do people like me draw your interest so heavily?
Because I made a promise.
To
Someone like you.
hmm, interesting. And is that how you can pull off your vanishing trick? Promises.
Trick? You can buy a potion of invisibility anytime you want.
You can, but you have a tight grip on your coin purse, and you wouldn't use such a rare item to traverse hills.
You'd be mistaken.
Really?
You would in that case.
Interesting.
Now, to be fair, I wouldn't have to, but I would.
Hmm. Interesting. Where are you from, Miss Winnow?
What are you planning to do?
Just
Question for a question. That's harder to answer. I've traveled a bunch, hence my reluctance.
I can relate to traveling quite a distance. I'm not originally from Oncalo. I'm from Bobrana, to the north.
What I can't, I guess, the thing I call closest to home at this point would probably be right around that Shurin border. This accent isn't just for show.
Well, I must admit that it is quite lovely, though.
It has its benefits.
I get the suspicion that you don't have much interest in things that don't have their benefits.
True enough. Speaking of which, what is it you plan to do?
Multian will begin to sip their water. and will say telepathically to you, I'm going to assassinate Kanan Gotarama. And then we'll set their glass of water down. I believe this is us. And I'll pull the curtain open for the food.
There's the waiters making their way down the hallway towards you with 2 plates of food. They'll go, thank you.
Didn't know.
Of course.
Well,
also my food's always burnt, so it's kind of easy to pick out.
and they'll place the plates in front of both of you, and both of you have been given a very fine cut of steak that Maltia and yours has been charred to a crisp, alongside potatoes and root vegetables.
God, that makes me so sad. That pains me so much.
I must
The
emphasize,
filet
it is not
mignon.
just burnt, it is charred to a
Charred.
crisp.
A filet
Pains
mignon,
me.
just like charcoal.
That is
so
correct.
much.
They have followed
God.
your instructions exactly.
Which I appreciate.
Is the waiter giving Maltion the stink eye?
No,
for-
and they'll say, anything else I can get for the 2 of you?
That'd be all for me for now.
All right, please.
Maltia?
Please
What was your
pull
name?
on this cord. My name? My name is Judith.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. If there's anything else that you need, please pull on this cord here, and they'll gesture to a small braided cord that is next to the door. And I'll be with you as soon as I can.
Wonderful.
All right, and she will leave and close the curtain behind them.
And once that done, because I know that was telepathic, but I don't think I can send anything back telepathically.
Nope.
Okay, didn't think so. So out loud, she'll say, "I assure you, my interest has not changed in the slightest."
Brave. This isn't exactly a line of work or a particular contract that one comes back from.
Sorry, was that also mental or was that out loud?
No, I'm speaking out loud now.
Out loud, okay. I mean, life isn't worth much if it's not interesting, is it?
I don't know that you can put value on a life.
You decidedly can. I think we just proved that.
Money.
Maybe you should. Well, I'd be out of business if you couldn't.
Well, it's just that value is such a social construct, you know? It simply exists for whatever we say it does. For example, and I'll stab through the steak and go, if I decide that this is worth 400 gold pieces to me, then it's worth 400 gold pieces. If
Sure.
someone tried to buy it off me, it costs 400 gold pieces. I find myself, and I'll take it off with one hand, I find that that sort of malleability is where I operate the finest. I will bite into the steak.
Considering your project, let's say you didn't do that for whatever reason. I know you're dedicated to it, but for a point of clarity, have you ever had a long-term goal otherwise? I ask because I do.
Who are you?
Jade knows my name.
No, I mean, seriously. Did Treasure send you? Is that what this is?
No.
Forgive my skepticism. It's just I haven't been asked that in a long time. I would probably go back to school. I found in my spare time of learning magic, I found great interest in races and practices that are no longer with us due to certain policies.
Yeah. School time is, you don't realize how precious it is until you're out of it.
Yes. Most of mine is a bit of a blur, if you can believe it.
I think I kind of envy you that. Mine is all crystal clear as it happens.
Not enjoyable, then?
Sometimes even happiness can be sad.
Yes. People tend to not realize what's not there until they look for it.
But, circling back, I'd like to help you with your thing. It is relevant to my interests, my dreams.
Then I suppose we're in business together, Miss Fennell.
Speaking of which, why did you give me that money? You're not getting it back. I'm just curious.
I don't like money. It represents a lot of things that I stand against.
But it paves the way for a lot of things.
It does, and I encourage people to use whatever tools they need to survive, but I don't need it to survive.
Fair enough. Well, how about we enjoy the rest of our meal together and look forward to future endeavors.
Yes, I do believe.
Unless, of course, you don't want my help. I suppose you could turn it down. Is there a question you want to ask me? Is there a reason there's hesitance upon your part?
No one who's heard that plan hasn't tried to dissuade me from it. So I'm just processing, I suppose.
Forever prepared for a no and not a yes.
That is the mission statement of my life, yes.
Well, I said yes. So, get used to it.
And Maltian will eat their steak with their hands.
Jade uses silverwood, but Jade also doesn't comment on it. Like, oh, there's your steak.
I mean, it's not like it makes a mess. It's charred.
That's exactly.
Yeah, there is no moisture left in this steak.
Exactly.
It is, Jade, very well seasoned.
Okay.
You taste charcoal.
Delicious. Can I? Is there a window in this booth?
No,
you are not. No,
you are underground. There are 3 solid paneled, very nice, like maple walls. Not maple. That's not a nice wood. Mahogany walls. The ceiling.
Mahogany.
The floor is very nicely done stone tile. The ceiling, there is a finely wrought chandelier with candles that are not dripping on you. And a heavy curtain.
Okay.
That is muffling pretty much all sound.
All right. Maltion starts getting antsy eventually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you claustrophobic? I wouldn't have taken
I-
you if I knew that. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's very limited information inside this booth. Not that the conversation hasn't been enjoyable, but I like being able to look behind me. Is all.
That's fair. We can settle up our tab and be on our way.
I'd appreciate that.
Pull the rope.
All right, and within a minute and a half, Judith comes back and they say, yes, is there anything else that I can get for you?
Just a check, please.
Certainly, it'll be 1 gold piece for your pleasure this evening.
Gold piece and a couple silver as a tip.
Thank you very
I
much.
will leave 3 gold as a tip.
All right, thank you very much. Please, and they will guide you out. And up to the top of the stairs, and they will say, "Thank you very much for dining at the Burrow this evening."
Thank you kindly. You have a wonderful evening.
I very much appreciated it, Judith.
Have a wonderful night. And she will usher you out to up the staircase and close the door behind you. You two are you two heading to a bar together, or are you splitting ways for the night?
Any question?
Maltion will turn and say, "Well, I believe that this was quite an interesting evening, but I am very tired, so I believe I will have to retire for the night."
Yeah, you should get some shut-eye, precious. That's got to go in my top 20 list of interesting dinners. Be on your way. Jay walks off.
Okay.
As Jade walks away, Maltion is just standing there and goes, "Precious." And I will go back to whatever awning I was... Actually, I would like to rent a room.
Okay.
I want a full room. Whatever that requires and how much that will cost, I will pay it.
Okay. You know of the Blue Badger in this area, or you can go find shelter elsewhere.
Is the Blue Badger where Connie is staying?
Connie is staying at her church.
Okay, then I will go to the Blue Badger.
Okay. So you were there a couple nights ago. You recognize Toby at the bar, the fellow half-orc.
Yeah, I will take out for a room.
Okay. So he'll get you situated with a room. Jade, you make your way back toward your quarters at the Crow's Cradle. And with
Indeed,
everyone getting some much-needed sleep, that is where we are
Could
going
I?
to...
Could I?
Yes,
I
one more
want to
thing.
just get one more quick thing.
Go ahead.
When Maltion goes up to the room, they're gonna pull out this small-ish, like palm-sized ball of rubber bands that they have, and lay down in the bed, fully clothed, and just throw it at the ceiling, and say, "Ilana, Darrett, Levi, Lucas, Freddie." Then they will catch the ball, and the features of a half-orc will melt away to the smooth, gray, mottled skin and pupilless eyes of a changeling. She called me precious. And that's it.
That's not what she expected you to focus on out of all the things she said.
All right.
on.
And
Top
with,
20 dinners.
with
Number
that-
7 will shock you.
with that interesting reveal from our changeling Maltion, we are going to end our session for the night. And we will do our outros in reverse order. So we're going to start on my left with the lovely D. How you
Hi.
feeling?
Pretty good. My name is D. I have been playing Multion, the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. You can find me all over the place. I am a writer, singer, voice actor / musician. I'm a professional GM with the Emerald City Game Masters Guilds, and I do commissions. So if you like my voice or my character work, and you have a project that you think I would be appropriate for, contact me either on Twitter or on Twitch, here on Twitch, where I'm at It's to Riddler on Twitter. And yeah.
All right. On to Darby.
Hello. It's me, Darby. You can find me on Twitter as @DarbyPack. That's my real human name, but really just a possum in a skin suit. If you like me, you can find me here on this Twitch channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays doing things. Tuesday for Darby's Dungeon at 6 p.m. PST, and Thursdays for Co-op Chaos at 6 p.m. PST as well. And I'm also one of the co-hosts for Chaotic Creations, the namesake of this sort of Twitch channel, a podcast where we take weird prompts to make weird TTRPG characters. My other co-host is our lovely Dungeon Master Harper. Where else can you find me? You can find me Wednesday evenings in A Pale Cold Sun on the Critical Misses Twitch channel at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, where we play a Vampires the Masquerade 5th edition game with Dee, who is our lovely Master of Ceremonies, and Alicia, who's also in that game as Victoria, as Beaster. I think that's it. Am I in anything else? I'm in a lot of other things. I just can't remember which ones are public yet. C'est la vie.
All right, and so we will move over to AJ.
Hello, I am AJ, also known as Husha Kid. You can find me on the 3 T's of social media, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok as Husha_Kid. I am a part of a production for an anthology film series with elements of magical realism and Filipino culture called Witness to a Devouring Monster. We are a POC and women-led team. We are about a third funded, and you can help out by going to my bite size on my bio on Twitter. On the first Wednesday of every month, you can find me on Misty Mountain Legends on Twitch playing a cool bro cleric Dolph Fitzgerald. Then on March 26th, you can find me on Friends Who Rolls Dice channel playing Wildevere, a Wildevere one-shot as part of their charity one-shots this month. So be sure to stop by and find me there. Otherwise, just keep an eye on my Twitter and you'll find a random stream by me whenever I feel up for it or have time for it.
All right, and finally we have Alicia.
Oh, hi there. I'm Alicia, or Energy9, on Twitch, where I stream video games, and pun, and swear a lot, and have snakes. Or Energy98, where I have snakes, and pun, and swear a lot, and have snakes. I said snakes twice, because I have 2 times 2 snakes. That's 4 snakes. Cool. Tuesdays. I'm not on a channel. Wednesdays, Vampire the Masquerade over on Critical Misses. Thursdays, also on Critical Misses, Cypher System One Shot. Fridays, here, Hidden Magicks. Saturdays, sometimes River Legends over on Dicey Amazon. Sundays, my own channel for, at this point, board game shenanigans. We played Ticket to Ride a couple days ago, and it was super fun. So yeah, there we go. That's me.
And I have been Harper, your Dungeon Master for the evening. I am one half of the team here at Chaotic Creations. We're a variety streaming channel. You can find me streaming on Thursdays for Co-op Chaos with Darby, and on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Harper's Homeroom, where at the moment I'm making my way through my first ever playthrough of the Sinnoh region in Pokemon Platinum. You can also hear me on Chaotic Creations, our lovely podcast that we make weird TTRPG characters and make them into playable characters with rich backstories. May I say that any of the 4 characters that appear on the show would have made excellent episodes. But that is our show. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye now.
Hello.